James at Falcons Fury Harley-Davidson, and today we're going to be looking at the Softail Deluxe. This is a video that a lot of you have asked for, so here it is. Now, before we start, I want to say that the sun is a liar. It is freezing cold out here, so we're going to get doing this fast. Now, the Deluxe is perhaps the most nostalgic of all Harley-Davidson motorcycles that we make. From the fenders on here, to the color, to the lights, to the exhaust, to the white walls. These things are fantastic, and when you ride this, you feel like you're in the 1950s, 60s. What the hell are you doing, Jake?
What's happening, James?
Yeah, man, how are you? What are you doing here? We're doing the Deluxe today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's almost as cool as here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're doing the Deluxe, so they asked for the Deluxe. So, yeah.
Yeah, I must have read it wrong. I wrote here. It's cool.
Well, how do you figure that?
Oh, I mean, I got the detachable. It's quick detach too, so I can look just as good as this. I can also go on road trips.
Yeah, I've got white walls.
Yeah, but I've got lock saddlebags to put my stuff in, and they're weatherproof.
Yeah, and I've got white walls.
You know, I have a passenger seat for pretty ladies that want to ride around with me too.
I've got white walls.
I have cruise control.
Yeah. I've got white walls. It's a cool bike though, isn't it?
You do have white walls.
It's a cool bike.
That is pretty great.
It's an awesome looking bike. Yeah, but in all seriousness though, these two motorcycles, they're fairly similar, wouldn't you say? I mean, you've got...
Absolutely, yeah. 100%. These are both really, really great looking bikes.
Yeah.
Both present a lot of nostalgia. I mean, this is what you think of. When you think of Harley-Davidson, a Heritage Softail comes to mind. Or if you're like James,
What
a
was-
Deluxe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main difference here is whether you want the mags, the windshield, the cruise control is a nice little touch.
The cruise control makes it.
But there's something about this that's just so... It's fantastic. It's iconic, isn't it? What a
I love
bastard.
that guy.
I love it. You see that? You just can't...
I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Anyway, yeah, but so they are.
It's the tombstone tail light, really, is what makes this bike just that much.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
And the turn signals, I mean, cosmetically speaking, the Deluxe is absolutely one of the coolest motorcycles Harley-Davidson's ever made.
It is, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Which I think is why you guys wanted to see this so much. Because it is, let me move out of the way, it's such a pretty machine.
It is.
Alright, we're going to test ride them and let you know how they ride, if they ride differently or not. So, stick around, we'll be right back. Alright, so we are off. I'm starting off on the Deluxe first, since that's the one you wanted to see in this review. This is really one of those bikes when you get on it, you just feel that sense of history. Let's put that down. Stop some of this wind coming in. It is really, really cold out here. I'm not exaggerating. I do exaggerate a lot, but today I'm absolutely not. It is really, really cold. So anyway, on this bike, you just get that massive sense of nostalgia from this. You know, you feel like you're riding a piece of history, which I suppose in some ways you really are. It's absolutely fantastic. Comes with the Milwaukee 8107, which is the same as the Heritage, and you can get the Heritage with a 114. But we thought, for comparison's sake, it would be better to do a 107, and the fact that they were both in the same colour worked out perfectly. Yeah, I know, you thought it was all just a coincidence that Joe rode up on one of those. It was a setup. Yeah, this 107 is fantastic. You know, the 114 does give you a little bit more, but the 107 is, I think, plenty for most people. I am looking forward to getting on that Heritage or that windshield right now, because it is really, really, really cold. the wind is blowing, and I'm wearing summer gloves, which was a mistake. My fingers are freezing off. Oh, and I realised we just went over the bridge and didn't talk about comfort, so we'll talk about that now. The Deluxe is really nice. The seat that comes on this is very, very comfortable. It's soft, but supportive. You know, sometimes the seat can be too soft and it doesn't give you any support. This one feels like it does give you a little bit of support on the back of it. It's quite nice. What is he doing? What? You know what? You can't take him anywhere, can you? You see that? He's being like a bloody bird on his bike there for some reason. Hi! You know what's happening right now? This is weird, but I'm starting to get a brain freeze. You know when you eat an ice cream and you get a brain freeze? That's happening right now. I think this cold wind's blowing up the back of my helmet, and it's giving me a freeze. Yeah, pointless facts. See, I'm trying to cover the little hole in the back. See, pointless facts with James. Anyway, the handlebars on this are nice. I quite like these. Jake's more of a ape hanger type of fella. He likes the bars up high. I somewhat prefer them down low. You know, I ride a slim on a day-to-day basis, and I love the Hollywood bars on that. And these are not a world away from those. They're nice for me. They're comfortable. You have the footboards, obviously, so it's you know, you're in a fairly comfortable riding position forwards. But you know, like we said before, this new Softail platform since 2018, they're not as forward as they used to be. They're sort of mid forwards, if that makes sense. Lean angle on these is great. You know, the floorboards, it impedes a little bit. You can't get as far over without scraping them. But I've never really had a problem with it, to be honest. It's always been fine. We got lost for words there. Sorry, chaps. Sorry, my hands are just so damn cold right now. It's unbearable. It's a gorgeous day, but it is absolutely unbearable. The colour on this is very nice, isn't it, too? It's a red with the black. This has more black on than the Heritage. The Heritage tank is pretty much all red. We've got a nice little black streak on this. It's very nice. The person who's going to buy the Deluxe, or the Heritage for that matter, is someone that's looking for a bike that is a traditional Harley-Davidson. Something that looks like a Harley, sounds like a Harley. I know. You're all going to comment, it doesn't sound like a Harley, it sounds like a sewing machine. You can put aftermarket pipes on, it's fine, and then it sounds really, really good. But in some ways, it's quite nice to have not the loudest pipes on this bike, because then you can just sort of enjoy cruising around on it and not blowing your eardrums out. But each their own, you know. I'd put pipes on it, but you know, hey, what can you do? The signals and the lights on this are fantastic. Jake was saying earlier it's got the tombstone on the back, which is great, and you will be able to see that when Jake gets on this bike. It's all LED lights on these front and rear turn signals as well. Nice traditional look to them, but you get that added safety of LED, which is it's a win-win. I don't know, we've talked a lot about this when we ride these Softails, about how balanced this new platform is, and it is fantastic. At slow speeds like we're doing right now, it's fantastic. These bikes want to stay up, and that's a great thing. And in the corners, yeah, no bother. And you get plenty of acceleration with that 107. The low end torque on it is fantastic. It's really powerful. It pulls like a train, and I love that about these bikes. I really do love that about them. But I tell you what, on just cruising around town, you really can't beat either of these bikes. They're so great. I don't want to say you feel that sense of history again, because I'm going to repeat myself, but you really do. You just feel like you're on this bike that's got so much DNA in it. It's great. And in the twisties, it's fun. Because these little ones here like this, you're not really in any danger of scraping the floorboards, you know, like it would be if you were in like real deep canyons. So here, it's just absolutely perfect to just sort of cruise around on. Very, very comfortable. Except for the fact that the wind is trying to murder me right now. So coming up to new construction corner, turning round, as you know, these things are fine. You can lean them down pretty far. I mean, you see Jake right there on the Heritage, you know. There's no, and he's so far from scraping those floorboards at that angle that he's got plenty of room. So we're coming up to the switch point in a minute, which I'm really, really, really happy about, because I need to get some of this wind off me. It really is. It's brutal. I'm just going to keep saying that, because
That way you can understand just how cold it is. So we'll pull in here, we'll switch bikes, and I'll give you my first initial thoughts getting on the Heritage after the Deluxe and what the main differences are. There's not going to be a huge amount, to be honest. These are very, very similar motorcycles. With the, the Heritage obviously has the bags and the windshield and cruise control. But other than that, very, very similar motorcycles. I do think the Deluxe looks better, and it's not just the white walls. I just think it's a really, really classy looking motorcycle. So you know what? I'll leave it running for him. We'll switch it out. We good, man? Yeah. There he is. Alright, cool. Let's get on here and get going. And he turned it off. Look at that. I leave it on for him, and he turns it off for me. Oh well, I'll get it going. Okay, right off the bat, the handlebars. These are mini apes, and it completely and utterly changes your riding position. So for me, like I say, I prefer the lower bars, but I know a lot of people do like these mini apes. As far as seating position goes, I feel like I'm a little further forward on this motorcycle than Deluxe. But that could be because of these. The handlebars here could be making it feel like I'm a little more forward. But everything else on this is very, very similar. The whole, the tank, this here, I mean, it's all basically the same as what you get on the Deluxe. The difference is your handlebars and the windshield. The seat, I don't think is as comfortable. Maybe that's just my imagination, but it doesn't feel quite as soft and supportive. And I do feel like it's pushing me a little bit further forward, which is not quite as comfortable for somebody at my size, but somebody who's not. You know what? Look at those white walls. Wow, ADD James came out there, but I just caught them out of the corner of my eye, and I love them. They look fantastic. So other big differences, the windshield does make a massive difference. I can already tell you, you can probably hear it as well. You can probably hear the engine a little bit better because there's not much wind hitting my helmet and therefore the microphone. But they really are they're very similar. I mean, power delivery is exactly the same. Lean angle, all that is exactly the same. It does feel different because of these higher handlebars, and this, as a personal preference, I find that the lower the handlebar is, the more control I have over the motorcycle. That's a personal thing for me. So I feel like I can corner on the Deluxe a little bit better. And the other difference is the tail lights we were talking about. You see Jake up there signaling. I love those. The tombstone, named because it looks like a tombstone, looks really great. And like I say, they're all LED as well, which is nice. On the Heritage, the turn signals are not LED. You can replace them really easily, but they're not as from the factory. Yeah, this I love this engine. I really love the Milwaukee 8. If you've never ridden a Milwaukee 8, you need to ride one and see. And then, he got close there. Look at that plow, Jake, mate. He got close to the he got close to the floorboards there, living on the edge. Yeah, this windshield on a day like today is a lifesaver. Normally, I'm not a massive windshield fan because I really like feeling the wind on me. But when the wind is this horrible, I'm quite happy to have a little bit of protection between it and myself. Yeah, those tail lights are absolutely magic, aren't they, on the Deluxe? Yeah, so overall, which one should you buy? Well, it really comes down to which one you think looks better, because that's a big part of a motorcycle. Let's be honest, we buy motorcycles because we look cool on them. The other differences are, bags. Are you going to do trips? If you are, the bags might be a little more convenient. Windshield, it's convenient, but you can always put a windshield on the Deluxe. You can put bags on as well, but from the factory, the Deluxe is perhaps not as versatile as the Heritage, but I think it looks awesome, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Those white walls. Alright, we'll see you on the other side, and we'll talk about our final thoughts on these two bikes. Okay, so we just got done riding them, and final thoughts, Jake?
Oh man, so the Heritage didn't let me down. It was fantastic. I used cruise control for most of that, and we weren't even going anywhere far.
No.
And hiding behind that windshield, like he said, the sun is lying. It's freezing out here.
Yeah.
And I just lay back, chill behind it. You can tell James was freezing.
Gloves were a lie. They
Yes.
didn't work. My hands are bloody. Look at that. Can you see that?
They're cold.
It's disgusting. They look like 80-year-old man hands.
You're not 80?
No,
Oh.
not yet.
Oh, sorry about that.
It is cold, and both awesome bikes. They ride very similar. One thing we didn't mention is the bars.
Yeah.
The bars are very different. We have the much lower bars on the Deluxe, and then the Heritage. Product placement. the Heritage has these sort of mini apes, so that gives you a bit of a higher stance on that. Both awesome bikes, though.
They are, but I kind of think I like the Deluxe seat a little better. And
I was
really didn't see that coming.
I was saying that when I was riding. I was like, oh wait, this isn't as comfortable as the Deluxe. The Deluxe seat is really nice. The Heritage is good, but the Deluxe just has an edge. It's a little bit wider, so it gives more room for the spreading. Is that what they say?
I
don't think they say that. Maybe now that's it. You got more spreading room on those seats.
That's right.
That's disgusting. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching this video. Comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.